FAM dan pemain Harimau Malaya, terutamanya status 7 pemain warisan selepas Persekutuan Bola Sepak Antarabangsa FIFA mendapati FAM dan 7 pemain melanggar artikel 22 Kod Tata Tertib FIFA FDC dan terdapat ketidakselarasan dalam dokumen asal pendaftaran, terutamanya sijil kelahiran nenek dan datuk pemain yang dikemukakan tidak sepadan dengan rekod negara asal. Dan pelanggaran serius ini turut mendapat respon dari pelbagai pihak berkaitan, antaranya Kementerian Dalam Negeri, KDN dan Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara. Dan sebelum itu sebenarnya masih lagi belum bersedia untuk sidang media khas FAM di Wisma FAM Kelana Jaya. Namun sebelum itu saya nak kongsikan kepada anda senarai 7 pemain yang telah pun digantung, di mana inilah senarai tersebut. Gabriel Felipe Arocha, Facundo Garces, Rodrigo Holgado, Emmanuel Macucha, João Figueiredo, John Irazabal dan Hector Alejandro Hevel Serrano. Dan semua pemain terbabit digantung selama 12 bulan dari sebarang aktiviti bola sepak berkaitan oleh FIFA dan didenda sekurang-kurangnya 10,560 seorang. Inilah 7 pemain yang telah pun digantung oleh FIFA. Dan selain itu juga kami nak kongsikan kepada anda, ini adalah sebahagian rekod Malaysia dalam perlawanan kelayakan Piala Asia di peringkat kumpulan. Kesemuanya berakhir memihak buat Harimau Malaya dan antara jaringan besar terhasil ialah ketika pertemuan Malaysia dan Vietnam dan juga Laos 5-1 baru-baru ini. Alright, nampaknya sidang media khas FAM sudah pun bersedia. Jom saja kita ke Wisma FAM Kelana Jaya untuk sidang media khas FAM ini.
Tutup.
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. Welcome to the press conference today. Here we have Dato' S.C. Basugan, FAM Deputy President, Dato' Sri Rosmadi Ismail, FAM Vice President, Dato' Sharon Nadaraja, FAM Vice President, Mr. Rob Friend, CEO of the national team, and Mr. Serge Vitos, our legal counsel for this ongoing case. Okay, before we open question to the members of media, I would like to invite Dato' S.C. Basugan for the opening remark.
Terima kasih. Salam sejahtera. Good afternoon, members of the media, Malaysians, Harimau Malaya fans. Thank you for being here today for the press conference. With me here, Dato' Sri Rosmadi Ismail, Senior Vice President, FAM, Dato' Sharon Nadaraja, Vice President, FAM, Mr. Serge Vitos, our legal counsel from the international sports law firm Charles Russell Speechless SA, the international sports law firm. FAM's appointed legal counsel for the ongoing case involving our 7 heritage players, and Mr. Rob Friend, CEO of the national team. The purpose of today's press conference is to present the chronology of events concerning the eligibility of these 7 players and to inform the public of FAM's current position as well as the steps we have taken in response to FIFA's disciplinary proceedings. We believe in transparency and accountability. It is important that everyone understands the facts as they occurred, the actual sequence of events, and the measures FAM has undertaken since the beginning of this process. Now I go to the chronology of events. At the end of 2024, FAM initiated a structured strategy to identify and review the eligibility of players with ancestral Malaysian roots who could strengthen the national team. During this time, many agents and players approached FAM, and even a former Malaysian club owner facilitated introductions with several representatives. This initiative formed part of a broader effort to raise the competitiveness of Malaysian football. During the same period, Coach Peter Klamowski was appointed on 16 December 2024, and Mr. Rob Frank joined as CEO on 30th December 2024. Both key appointments under our National Football Reform Plan. January to June 2025, many agents submitted documents of players to FAM for administrative review. After FAM had done initial necessary checking and selection, FAM forwarded the documents for verification with the relevant ministries. The government subsequently verified and issued letters instructing the players to complete entry permit and registration procedures, followed by My Card issuance as part of Malaysia's lawful naturalization process. Citizenship completion. The players were requested to visit the JPN offices to complete citizenship and My Card issuance. Upon receiving their My Cards, the players then applied for Malaysian passports. These steps were conducted entirely under the Malaysian law, and all relevant government agencies, KDN and JPN, have since confirmed the due process that followed. Once the players received their passports, FAM wrote to JPM to obtain confirmation of ancestral lineage documentation. FAM need to submit the eligibility documentation to FIFA to obtain approval of the players. FAM had to rush submissions to meet the deadlines of registration. And in this submission process, technical error occurred in documentation which was overlooked at that point of time. FIFA subsequently approved the players' eligibility to represent Malaysia. On 11 June 2025, a complaint was lodged by a Vietnamese individual questioning the authenticity of the documentation. FIFA subsequently initiated an investigation into the matter. August to October 25, FIFA proceedings. 22nd August, FIFA wrote to FAM informing that FIFA are opening disciplinary proceedings. 26 September, FIFA announced sanctions, a fine of Swiss franc 350,000 and a 12-month suspension for the 7 players. Players were fined Swiss franc 2,000 each. 6 October, FAM received the grounds of decision from FIFA. 7th October, FAM confirmed its intention to appeal and began preparing the submission. 14th October, FAM officially submitted its appeal to FIFA. Current status. The appeal has been officially lodged with FIFA, and we now await the next stage of process. FAM maintains that these players were lawfully naturalized in accordance with Malaysian law. FAM will appoint an independent administrative and governance committee to avoid any further similar issues and align with the highest standards of international football. The General Secretary of FAM will be suspended from duty effective today. pending further investigation in order to allow an independent committee to carry out the exercise. Thank you. Okay. We will continue to work closely with KDN, JPN, and KBS and have an engaged, experienced legal counsel in FIFA and Khas matters to ensure that our position is robustly defended. Our lawyer, Mr. Saj Vitos, will elaborate on the legal aspects shortly. Now, I call upon Mr. Rob Frank, CEO of the national team, to do some presentation.
Thank you, Tato. And thank you, media, our friends in the media today for coming. I've heard most will be our friends, and maybe some won't be today. So, but I welcome all questions. And so, really, I would like to begin. My name is Rob Friend, the CEO of the national team. That is my role. I was brought in this year in January, and I think it's to sort of set the context for my role, set the context for the national team, and really the different entities involved here. I think it's important to add some clarity. So really, we're talking about sort of three different entities in this sort of structure. We've got FAM, so FAM is governance, it's HR, documentation, registration, ethics, legal. So really, that's FAM right here. You have the Malaysian national team here. What are we? We're strategy, we're performance, we're technical, we're staff, we're media, we're comms, medical, sports science, logistics, game planning. So that's the national team. And then up here, I think it's important to address is His Royal Highness TMJ. So really, we began this project. I was brought into this project by His Royal Highness TMJ's vision. He's a visionary. What he's done in football in Malaysia is unprecedented. We are grateful as a national team for his support, his vision. But I think it's very important to set the record straight right now and add clarity in terms of what is his role. Because I've seen some things in the media. I've seen some things being thrown at him that are absolutely unnecessary. It's borderline ridiculous. But really, his role as a visionary and what he's brought to this national team, he's been able to convince the government to add additional funding. So that funding goes towards the national team in terms of professionalism. Bringing a world-class staff like Peter Klomoski, like Dr. Craig Duncan, one of the best science sports performance doctors in the world. Myself, Stanley Bernard. This is a world-class staff we have in the national team. And the professionalism that we bring comes from the vision of TMJ. And that's it. He's not operational, right? He's not getting in the weeds. He's our visionary, and that's it. And he sets the vision of the national team. He holds the national team accountable. He sets the motivation. These players want to play for him. We want to work for him. We want to represent this country. And he's a proud visionary of this project, and that's it. So when I see stuff being thrown at him in terms of getting involved in this, it's like I said, it's borderline ridiculous that anyone would think that he's getting down into the weeds of the operation in terms of documentation, in terms of registration. So I think it's important to set that part clear. So with regards to the national team, and as I've sort of defined what we are, I think it's important to really discuss or paint the picture of what our role was in the naturalization, because it's obviously been a big topic, and we're sitting here because of the sanctions that have been set by FIFA. So with the national team, obviously, as I explained, we're strategy, performance, we're technical. We're not getting involved in the documentation. But what I would say, and full transparency, how we are involved, I'd say sort of two main areas. The first one would be discussion with FAM throughout the upcoming camps. We get a brief, we get an update on potential players that are going to be naturalized. Of course, Peter, myself, we'd understand, okay, this is the player pool, that FAM is working on with the government in terms of documentation, in terms of registration. Until then, we had no involvement in that, obviously. We're not involved in any of the documentation registration. But we were ready and available when these players would be accepted by FIFA. And then once the documentation registration was finished, the FIFA would issue a document that approved the players to play for the national team. We as the national team would receive that document, and then we would activate that player in the player selection. So we'd sit down with Peter, we'd discuss those newly naturalized players as part of our upcoming games. Until then, as you can imagine, there was no planning around those players because it's very difficult to plan without the official confirmation they're able to play. So that's really the national team's role in this naturalization. I think it's important to clarify. I'd also like to clarify my role in this process. Obviously, on August 22nd, FIFA submitted the case and the investigation into FAM and the players. So myself as CEO of the national team, this immediately affected the national team, which I immediately became involved in this case, which meant I knew we had to protect the players. There are players that bled for this country. They've represented this country. They're Malaysian, and my responsibility is to protect our players, protect the integrity of the national team. So on August 22nd, I immediately became involved and got brought into this case, which meant we had to bring a world-class legal team. Like I said, it's protecting the players, protecting the integrity of football, integrity of the national team. So myself got involved. I flew to Zurich, met with some of the best lawyers in the world, and we have one sitting here because it's important that everything is clearly documented, investigated, and understand how we can fight this and fight for the players and fight for the national team. So I've been to Zurich, I've been to Miami visiting FIFA. That's where their legal office is, working with FIFA, because I think in good faith we have to understand what happened. And by being transparent with FIFA and understanding the process, what went wrong, what happened, sort of investigating with them. Myself have been involved and have been multiple times in Miami meeting with FIFA and showing good faith that we're willing to understand what happened and then obviously ensure this never happens again. So on that, look, at the end of the day, I'm proud of this national team. I'm proud of what Peter and the players have done so far, especially in the last couple months with this dark cloud hanging over us. I'm proud of the last couple games. 5-1 against Laos is inspirational, and these players, this staff, staying focused and continuing to do the job and represent this country. And what they're doing is I can't be more proud. And we're going to fight. We're going to fight for our players. We're going to fight for the national team, for this country, and that's why we have some of the best lawyers next to us. And other than that, I will hand it over to Serge to break down the legal appeal process and overall the legal strategy. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Serge.
Thank you, Rob. So, as Rob said, I am an international sports lawyer. I work for Charles Russell Species, a law firm based in Geneva, Switzerland, and also in London. I've been instructed in this appeal procedure to advise and to represent FAM before the FIFA Appeal Committee. I'm going to be short in my presentation, and then I will be ready to answer questions from the audience. So. The situation procedurally now is that the decision was issued on 26th of September 2025. On 14 October, so within the prescribed deadline, we filed an appeal. We have learned today that the decision would be issued on 30 October 2025 by the appeal committee. So the decision will be taken on 30 October and most likely notified to the parties either the same day or a few days later. So after this decision from the appeal committee, if the players or FAM are not satisfied with the decision, they may still appeal to Khas, which will take some other time to be resolved. So this is about the procedure. About the substance, I will not talk too much about the substance because this is an ongoing appeal case, but the primary objective of FAM in this appeal is to protect the players and to make FIFA understand that the players didn't have to do with anything in this case. And the second objective is to make FIFA understand that FAM as an institution didn't have any implication on any forgery, which is the violation that is put forward by FIFA. So the FAM as an institution didn't have anything to do with it. And so the objective is to have the sanction of the players annulled, but also the sanction for the FAM annulled. Thank you. Mr. Deputy.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, FAM take this matter with the utmost seriousness. We are accountable to the Malaysian public and have a responsibility to defend the integrity of our players, our associations, and our country. We fully respect FIFA's process and are confident that our appeal will allow all facts and documents to be reviewed comprehensively and fairly. We urge the media and public to remain calm and allow due process to take its course. FAM remains steadfast in our mission to uphold transparency, to protect Malaysian football's reputation, and to continue building a strong, competitive Harimau Malaya for the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sundar, Rob, and Sir.
Yeah.
And now we open the question for the members of the media. Please raise your hand and contact your media agency.
So, can you tell
Yes.
Can you tell us?
Give the mic.
Can you please tell us when the players arrived in Malaysia and when were the mic cards issued?
When did the players?
These 7 players, when did they arrive in Malaysia and when were the mic cards issued?
Huh? Yeah. When is the date?
And also when the passports were issued?
I don't have the exact dates here.
But you said the mic cards were issued. Surely you
Yeah.
must have the dates?
Yeah.
Because you submitted these documents.
Letter from the. Just check. You want the dates?
Yeah, I want to know that how long
Dates?
before they applied and got their
Or the
mic cards.
application for the mic card? Do you have that? You have? No. Huh? You are Mr.?
Nadeshwaran is my name.
Oh, Mr. Nareshwaran. I don't have that exact date today. Eh? I will get it for you.
No, because the question I'm asking is,
Yeah.
we have taken less than 6 months, then it's a miracle that NADI worked. NADI worked a miracle. For a foreigner to come and get a mic card within 6 months,
Uh-huh.
it should be more than a miracle,
Uh-huh.
because there are here stateless people who have been here for 20, 30 years and unable to get a mic card.
Okay.
So I want to know that date so that I can ask NADI to explain.
Right. Huh? The application we started is in January 2025.
So when were they issued?
It was issued in May.
May, so
Yeah.
4 months. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. My next question, your legal counsel is here employed by FAM.
Yeah.
Does he have a work permit to practice here?
Who?
Your legal counsel, if you want to work in Malaysia, you must have a work permit.
Is it?
Yes? What are you asking me whether you
No,
did?
he-
I'm sure you're an ex-customs officer, you should know better.
Yeah. But
Just come on the social media path and do your
Yeah.
work.
no. He only came here to give a press conference.
But press conference, he admitted he is advising you.
Sorry?
He's just he's advising you on the preparation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
does that amount to work? Is he
you
working
came
free
on
of charge?
social media, isn't it? You
So
answered.
is he working free of charge?
Okay.
I can just say that I'm advising and representing the federation in the context of the FIFA procedure.
Yeah. Whatever you think you advise, you are here for a fee and you're working. Thank you.
Good evening, Avinash here from the Star. Anyone can answer this. First up, we want to know how were these players identified and what ascertained them to be Malaysians, because for the past few weeks we have been reading a lot of information. The minister says that they are actually naturalized and it was even based on his budi bicara, which is his discretion. And then here we are finding out that they are actually mixed heritage. So before we go deeper, I just want to know how the process was done, what was the metrics to select these players, and when the process was done, maybe in terms, because Dato mentioned about accountability and transparency, maybe you can tell us how did you ascertain that these 7 players had Malaysian heritage and could represent Malaysia?
But this question, I think the minister has already answered. It is under the Home Affairs Minister. I think he has already answered. Avinash.
So are they of Malaysian heritage or not?
Sorry?
Are they of Malaysian heritage or naturalized?
Who? There are 7 players.
7 players.
I think they are of nation heritage. Sorry, Avinash. The minister has already answered that.
So can FAM ascertain that these 7 players were of Malaysian heritage? What are the details? Because we saw FIFA detailed everything. So
Yeah.
we want to know from the process now whether they are of Malaysian heritage. Because this is a very serious allegation made by FIFA and also whoever initiated it.
Okay.
So maybe you can be clear about it, be transparent about it.
Uh-huh.
Anyone can answer this.
I think they got the passport through nation heritage.
Okay, so where were these 7 players from and how were they recommended? Because you also mentioned that agents send the email and everything.
Okay.
So, how was the process like to ascertain these players?
No, there were individuals, agents and all that. And then FAM picked up the 7 players.
Who got your birth certificate from the grandparents?
Sorry?
Who applied and got certificate from the grandparents?
But I think all these must be under the Home Ministry. This question not for FAM to
Did
answer.
FAM apply for it?
Sorry?
Did FAM apply for the birth certificate?
Yeah, FAM applied for the birth certificate.
Oh, that's investigation.
That's all under, that is what we have formed a independent committee to investigate all this. You know?
Dato, happy Diwali in advance.
Thank you, same to you.
I'm going back to Avinash's question, which has not been answered.
Uh-huh.
For the rest of you, especially Rob, who's never met me, RHDO from 2213.
Uh-huh.
Dato, who identified the 6 or 7 players?
Who identified?
Who identified them?
Uh-huh. That's what I told.
That's the question. Who identified them? Not the minister.
Uh-huh.
FAM, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Who within FAM who identified them and based on what?
Huh?
I repeat, yeah? Who identified the 7 players
Uh-huh.
and based on what? What is the justification of this particular 7 players? Why not Harish Dior? Why the 7 players?
Okay. That was identified because after the recommendation from the coaches, from the coach.
Which coach, please?
Sorry?
Which coach? Who?
No, the agent, we got it from the agent.
So who is
and
the
then-
agent, please?
That I don't have the documents here yet. I will let you know.
Okay. I'm going back to what you said earlier, sir.
Uh,
You said, and I quote, someone from Vietnam had apparently lodged a complaint. Could you justify that statement, please? Because FIFA does not reveal.
uh-huh.
So how do you come to a conclusion that it's from Vietnam?
No, we believe an individual.
So you believe it's not
We
conclusive,
believe an
correct?
individual has made a complaint to FIFA.
So it's fair for us to write that
Sorry?
it's fair for us to write that it's not conclusive, but it's believed to be an individual from Vietnam.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, we are basing this on assumption. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, another question which Rob had mentioned earlier, which I'm opening actually not to Rob, because as far as I'm concerned, and I think everyone here is concerned,
Okay.
FAM is a national body that's
Right.
affiliated to
FIFA.
the international body.
Yeah.
Now my question is, what's these three entities all about? Because as far as we are concerned, there's only one entity, which is FAM.
Uh-huh.
So could you kindly explain these three entities? And thank you, Rob, for explaining that there are now three entities. Because all this while we only know of one entity.
Yep.
I think
To clarify that, when I say
Yeah.
entities, there are more groups. Obviously, we fall under the FAM governance, but the sort of the concept, which is happening in global international football, national teams are starting to be run more like clubs. So employing sporting directors, CEOs, to really focus on the technical side. But ultimately, yeah, we fall under FM. So that's clarifying in terms of entities. Sorry for the miscommunication.
Thanks, Jason Thomas, FMT. Can I just confirm, why was the Secretary General suspended?
I told that we are appointing an independent committee just to investigate. We don't want the Secretary General to be around, if not for a transparent investigation.
You previously said that a technical error was to blame for this whole, controversy, right? Technical error led to the submission of these documents. So who committed that error?
Well, for all this, we are appointing an independent committee to investigate and all that, So after that, we will come out with the result of it.
How many people are there handling these documents?
Sorry?
How many people are there handling these documents that you don't know who submitted it?
No, because the secretary is the head of secretariat, So he has taken responsibility. So for an independent committee to investigate, he has to be away for some time until the investigation finish.
When you say he's taking responsibility, you mean he chose to be suspended by himself, or?
No, the FMSCO decided.
Right.
Yeah.
And when did they decide this?
Yesterday?
So who are the members of the independent committee? They would have the same FAM people.
No. It is an independent committee yet to be appointed not from FM.
Hello, Dato' Siva.
Yeah.
I'm Shazwan from Hara Metro.
Yeah.
Just want to ask you, FM have done so many documentation about heritage, naturalized player. Why right now you have this problem? Can you explain more that?
Sorry? Yeah, we have done. I think, if I'm not mistaken, about 23 players all this while. FM has done, But this one, that is what let the committee decide. What went wrong.
So the question you asked is, why naturalized players and foreign players? Why not local players? That's what you asked.
Oh, I see. I mean, you see, when we qualified after 42 years to Asian level, and then if you want to be, it is quite. If you think far, to stabilize in the Asian tournament, we should have local and naturalized players. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, because to improve the squad and move forward and go higher. Sorry? Yeah. Okay.
baru-baru ini kenapa kita ada masalah untuk pemain 7 pemain ini.
Oh, that is why we are forming an independent committee to find out, where we went wrong. You know what I mean?
Dato', can we know who will be part of this independent committee? What is the desired outcome that you want?
The actual committee will meet, and it will be all from outside.
And Dato', you also mentioned about FIFA letter on August 22nd. So there was a period of a month where you guys knew about this happening. What took place? What was discussed? Because Rob D mentioned that he went to Zurich to meet people to talk about this, to discuss about this. Maybe Rob can clarify about that. What happened during that 1 month? What was discussed? Because from August 22nd to September 26th, when the decision came out, what was being done to ensure that we can convince FIFA that these players are Malaysians according to policy?
Yeah, I mean, without going into detail, but like I said, when that letter, I was notified by General Secretary that FM received this letter, and as I said, this now affects the national team. We're talking about our players and the integrity. It was a letter from what I saw that players are being investigated, the documents are being investigated. I obviously, as the CEO, had to understand what happened. Obviously, we didn't have our eyes on any documents or the registration process. So, and I'm speaking as the national team, I'm trying to understand what happened, sort of almost like an internal investigation, to understand the players, to understand the legal process, how we can support FAM in this. So that was about a 4 or 5 week to build essentially a defense, and maybe Serge can speak to the legal process of how that happens. And then FAM has to submit the defense based on the information provided by FIFA. And that was within that period that Dato had mentioned.
Hi, it's Eileen from the Associated Press. So I'd just like to ask about the appeal process. I just want to be very clear. Exactly what is FAM appealing against? Are you saying that that FIFA is wrong, that the documents were not forged, as FIFA has said? Could you give us an idea of what exactly are you appealing, and what outcome are you expecting?
Well, what I can say is that the objective of the appeal is to have all sections annulled. It's to demonstrate that there was no forgery on the side of the player, there was no forgery on the side of the FAM as an institution, and if any wrongdoing was done, it should be targeted to the person in question. So that's the conclusions of the appeal, or the annulment of the decision, the sanction to the players, to the FM as well, or a mitigation of the responsibility of the FM as an institution.
Sorry, if I get this right, you're saying now that you're going to absolve FM responsibility of the so-called forgery and direct it to the so-called party who's responsible, which is NRD. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, what I'm trying to say is just that in the appeal, we are explaining that the FAM as an institution did not have anything to do in this situation, meaning the supervisory aspect of the role of the FAM was not touched by this situation.
By certifying that these players are heritage players and submitting documents, isn't FAM guilty? And number two, what defense are you going to have against FAM, which has already searched and got the original certificates from the respective countries?
Can you just repeat your question? I didn't. You don't have the mic.
FIFA is already. FIFA has already got the original birth certificates of the grandparents were issued, at least in Spain. What defense have you got when you produce a birth certificate of Malacca or Johor Bahru, which is not based on documents, but based on secondary evidence as claimed by the NRD?
So now you're trying to throw, saying FM is in the clear, let's throw the NRD under the bus. Is that what you're trying to do?
No, not at all. So,
No, then what are you saying?
This is not what it is in the appeal.
My question is this. If FM is not responsible, who is responsible?
Well, what is in the appeal is just what I can say is what is in the appeal is that we are explaining that FM as an institution is not so responsible for that.
Yeah, then who else is responsible? If FM is not responsible.
And this is why there is an investigation ongoing, as I understand.
So you are not contesting whatever that the documents were forged, but FAM is just saying we are not responsible. Is this correct?
The FM in the appeal does not contest that there is a litigious document. But this document is compliant with the JPN documentation, but it's not the same as the original birth certificate from the foreign authorities. So there is a discrepancy between the foreign authorities' birth certificate and the JPN's birth certificate, and this is why we have to explain in the appeal to understand through the investigation why this middle document was drafted.
So I just want to ask FAM, you said this is a technical or administrative error because you were rushing through the process, right? Are you saying that you submitted the wrong document, that you actually have the original document that FIFA has and not aware of it?
I think we
What
cannot
happened?
disclose anything because it appeals. No, I think to answer this question, because we are already appealing to FIFA, I think it is not fair for us to. No, because it might disturb our appeal to disclose everything here.
Come on now. FIFA's appeal already filed. Outside entry will not come into consideration, whatever discussed outside. Because the whole world is laughing at us for cheating. Forging documents.
No, the thing is that when we are appealing, we don't want the case to be disturbed.
What do you mean?
Because,
Who is disturbing the case?
no, because we have appealed.
Can you disturb the appeal? Can anyone of us disturb
No,
the
but
appeal?
by us saying things here, because we are affiliated to FIFA.
You have said so many things already which were wrong. What is wrong with telling us the truth?
I think at this point of time, the legal process is ongoing. One aspect. Allow the legal process to ongoing. And
Then why call the press
no,
conference? The legal process is ongoing.
we are here to just explain. We need here to not explain the contents of our appeal process because the decision has not been made.
Disturbing the appeal process? This press conference where you answer so many questions, not disturbing the appeal process?
We just want to explain to everybody that this process, appeal has been made, and therefore allow the process to go on. And number two, we are also saying that we are going to form an independent committee to look into what exactly has taken place in order for us to be in a better position to give an answer to all this.
Hi Rob, Fina from Astro Arena. Rob, back to your statement before this, you said that NT are not involved on this in this matter. So maybe you can tell us what's the role of NT actually to this, especially for this project, Revolution project.
So you're asking a specific role?
You said just now, NT are not involved with this method, okay?
You said
with the players.
Sorry,
with the
entities?
players.
So you're speaking about the national team?
Yeah, Malaysian national team. Yeah. You as a
Yeah.
CEO of NT, right?
Yeah.
So what's really role NT for this project?
What's the role of the national team? I'll define that again. We're performance, we're strategy, right? We're technical, we're sports science, we're medical, we have our own internal media team. So really we're focused on the technical and the high performance side.
Only that?
That's it.
How about the 7 players?
Of course, once we received the documents that they're eligible, then they became eligible to represent the national team, which then we'd activate those players into our roster.
And who choose the players from?
Well, there was as discussed, there was a pool of players from our understanding, and this is normal in football. Agents, third parties, intermediaries. This is very common that federations and get essentially inundated with potential players that can represent the national team. And then obviously it's up to the governing body, up to the government to do the documentation of that. And then obviously as a national team, once they get accepted by FIFA official, then we as a national team can activate those players.
I still remember there's a statement from TMJ that said you guys already identified the few players that we play for national team, and it's here.
Yeah.
I still keep this one. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's to my point. There was a pool of players that we briefed that the federation is working on the naturalization process. Okay, so we would get briefed. Team J would get briefed. Okay, here's a pool of players. Great, love it. 10, 20, 30, lots of players. Okay, ultimately, until they're ready, until they're naturalized, until they're accepted by FIFA, that's when we get involved. Right, so that statement is basically saying, great, there's 7 players that are going through the process. Ultimately, once FIFA approves, then they come to the national team.
And who choose them for the 7 players?
Well, as I said, there's a pool of players. Of course, as a national team, this is normal. Players are being naturalized, right? So look at Indonesia. Of course, we're gonna look at quality players. Ultimately, it's up to the national team. If once they've been naturalized, if Coach Peter wants to put them in his roster, that's for us to discuss. So luckily, a lot of these players have quality, but I think ultimately nobody's going to say no to players that are being naturalized officially, and then of course it's up to the coach to choose the players, much like he does for any roster.
I'd like to clarify when you say that the FAM, if there's any wrongdoing, FAM is not responsible. Is it because FAM feel, number one, that it's not aware and that it's already done? Would FAM say that you've already done proper due diligence, or was there a case of neglect or in the whole process? And number two, do you have AFC's backing on this? Does the AFC support you in your
If I may answer the second question, the AFC is not involved in the appeal. It's not supporting the appeal, and it's not involved at all. It's a FIFA disciplinary procedure.
FIFA have the evidence, like certificate. So FAM nothing. They have nothing. They give the passport for hearsay. What you can say, what chance to win or to fight for this?
Well, first, I cannot say anything about the naturalization process, which is the state procedure. So now the thing is that, as I said before, there are discrepancies between 2 birth certificates. One is for the 411 and one is from the state, the sovereign state of Malaysia. So we have, and FIFA has to understand, I understand that the investigation committee within FAM will try to understand what happened between those 2 documents, and then it would be up to FIFA to decide.
For the wrong.
Hi.
Sorry, so you there's a question. Why is it difficult to prove the heritage of certain players? Why are we made to wait?
Because there are no papers.
I repeat my question again. Kenapa begitu susah untuk mendapatkan bukti kelahiran atau moyang sesiapa sahaja di dalam yang berkenaan 7 pemain ini? Kenapa sehingga hari ini tiada satu bukti dikemukakan? dan ianya telah mengabdikan spekulasi. Itu soalan saya.
No, that is what Harish, earlier I said. I said that that the matter is with the FIFA appeals body. Now you are asking me why we cannot what prove about the Moyang, Dato and all that. Yeah, because we cannot. I told we cannot tell anything now because let the case finish. And then at the same time, we are forming an independent committee. Yeah. I can't hear you, Avnesh.
Sorry, you have to press this on you because let me use some examples. In the past, when Marcel Kalanda said he's got Malaysian heritage, FAM did their due diligence and found out that he wasn't Malaysian.
Yeah.
Number one.
Right.
Number two, Matsdale.
Right.
A proper due diligence was done and it was found that it was his great-grandfather that was from Malaysia, and even then that time it was registered as Singapore. Still not allowed because FIFA rules are very clear.
No.
Grandparents, parents.
Yeah.
So in this case right now, you mentioned that appeal process is going on, I cannot reveal and all that, but maybe you can enlighten us on why in the past when we asked these kind of questions, no answers were given. I'm sorry to say we have to use our counterparts in Indonesia. When these players were naturalized, all the details were given.
Okay.
Where their grandparents were from, where their parents were from and so on.
Okay.
In this case, why FAM didn't do that? In the past they did that, but why this time around they didn't do that? So that is my question.
Okay, we will take note of it. We will take note of it. Huh? Avnesh. Okay. Next.
Dato'.
What if FAM, if you're saying that FAM as an institution is not responsible, who are you saying is responsible? I mean, what are you actually saying in the appeal? Why should FAM not be responsible?
Can you hear?
This is just a technicality about the rule. The FAM was sanctioned because of the strict liability. Basically, FIFA decided that there was a violation by the player, and therefore FAM was also responsible. So this is not of the direct fault of the FAM, but for the concept of strict liability. They are liable for the fault of the other. And we are saying that in the appeal, we would confirm, we are trying to confirm that the responsibility and the strict liability does not apply in this case. We are not representing the players. The players, they are their own lawyers.
So, sorry, I'm going back to what you just mentioned. Not by fault, the fault of the other. The other would be NRC. So basically that is the game plan here.
No, I think in the appeal, and I don't think that there is any intention to question the documents which were issued by the JPN or the NADI. This is not absolutely not what is in the appeal.
Okay, last question from Sandhu. Okay, Dato' Sandhu from Scoop. Okay, Dato', I just want to ask you, this thing has been running my head, right? Because all this while, FAM has done a lot of naturalized players, things like that. And it has taken time, all right? It has taken time, There was a timeline lah. But I just want to ask you, why these 7 players were rushed, all right? Why it was quickly done? Was there any influence from outside? Were you guys pressured, to get the things done as soon as possible? Was it for what, competitive purpose or anything? Can you explain on that?
That's what Sandhu, I told just now that we are forming an independent committee to find out all this, And then I also say that the appeals is there, So if we are going to discuss this and that, it might affect the appeal. You know what I mean? So just be patient. No problem. We will come back after the appeals and all that.
Okay, thank you for the members of media. Yes, thank you. Please finish, however. Okay, thank you, Dato' Sudha, Dato' Rosmadi, and Dato' Smith, Dato' Feren, Mr. Rocket, and Mr. Khas.
Baiklah, selesai sidang media sebentar tadi dan terkini Setiausaha Agung FAM Dato' Azman Rahman digantung dari tugasan berkuat kuasa hari ini. Namun yang menjadi persoalan, adakah FAM mampu pulihkan maruah bola sepak Malaysia selepas tamparan besar dari FIFA? Dan di sebalik semua ini, penyokong Harimau Malaya pastinya menuntut satu penjelasan yang telus dan jujur. Oleh itu, kami akan terus bawakan perkembangan terkini isu FAM FIFA ini dengan lebih terperinci dalam NADI Arena 7:30 malam. Dan pertemuan kita berakhir di sini. Saya Elis Harun, salam hormat dan jumpa lagi.